I've been driving this car for about a month. I decided to get rid of my truck as part of a plan to buy a new sports car, either a Porsche or maybe the new 2020 Corvette. And I wanted to give you 10 reasons I decided on this BMW. It's a 2011 328i, also known as the e92, starting right now. Okay, number 10, pretty simple. It was under $10,000. I couldn't believe it. You can actually find a really good deal in a car that was in really good shape for a 2011, under $10,000. So I paid just over $9,000 for this one. And to my surprise, there were several out there in varying levels of condition, but you can get one that's in good shape. I'll tell you more about what I found in this car as I go forward with the list. So number 10, under $10,000 for a Beamer. Okay, number 9, as you can tell, the condition of this Beamer is fantastic. I wouldn't say it's like new, but it's in really good condition, especially the interior. What I found with the F30s was that the condition of them seemed ratted out really quickly. I drove some that were 3 and 4 years old that were $20,000, $25,000, and they were melting. Their interiors literally were melting. I mean, I know it gets hot in South Texas, but when your door handles are melting into the, the plastic, that's a problem. And for that reason, and really I just didn't find one that fit, kind of what I was looking for in the budget, I went with the e92 in this specific car because the condition was so great. Okay, number 8 is the steering feel. So the F30 comes with electronic steering, again, as you probably know, but the E90 or this E92 has hydraulic steering. It also has a thicker steering wheel. I think the E92 comes with the sport package, which may have included a thicker steering wheel than what came stock, but it just feels firmer and more, it gives me more to grip and to steer with. I really like the steering in this car, especially as I do other reviews when I'm traveling. And when I get back in this, I'm like, it just feels more in control, more connected to the road. I love the steering wheel and the steering feel. Okay, number 7, it's not a turbo. Now, I did look for a 335i, and I would have loved to have found one. This is classic BMW, especially classic 3 Series, a straight 6 with no turbo, just a naturally aspirated, small displacement 6-cylinder engine is something you just don't find anymore, certainly not from BMW. And so I really like that this is a non-turbo. Don't get me wrong, I know that the 335i is fantastic and I'm not trying to knock it, but for my purposes, which is making this a commuter car, having a non-turbo has a lot of potential benefits. And I like that it's a classic BMW naturally aspirated engine. Okay, number 6 is all of the maintenance was done by the dealership that I bought it from. So it was a one-owner car, and that owner bought it from that BMW of Austin, and they did all the maintenance there. And they had all the records available to me. I could see all the preventative maintenance that was done, all the oil changes. And so because of that, I really felt safer in terms of the maintenance history on this car was a known factor. It was maintained. I think that's something that a lot of BMW owners who buy a used car are concerned about, because if the maintenance wasn't done and then you get those big bills. Hopefully I don't have that with this car, but whatever number I'm on is the maintenance history. Okay, number 5, the cup holders. Look at these things. Engage cup holder. I just love the ingenuity that goes into a lot of BMWs, or it's really just their mindset. And so rather than put something, in the middle, which makes sense, they freed it up to give more of a driving, clean feel, and they wanted to have it retracted. That's gone away on the F30, which is certainly more convenient for putting your Buc-ee's cup right in the middle. But nonetheless, I really like the cup holders. Engage. Number 4 is this E92 Coupe. Comes standard with the sports suspension. And so I mentioned the steering feel, but the suspension is really tuned kind of aggressively, or more aggressively than a normal, you know, highway cruising 5 Series or even the regular 3 Series. And so there's kind of a connected, lowered, tight feeling to the steering that can be irritating to some people, but I love it. And I don't drive this car all the time because of how much I travel, and so because of that, whenever I get in it, it's like it's new every time. And I love that tight suspension that's really sporty. And so number 4, the suspension is fantastic. Okay, number 3, it's gonna be a little controversial, but number 3 is that it's not a manual transmission. Now, I wish that it was sometimes. I spend most of my time in this car on a highway in traffic, and that's the reason I didn't get a stick. A stick would be way more fun on roads like I'm driving on right now, but when you're stuck in traffic and you're going from second to third, third to second, second to third, back to neutral, back to first, and you're doing this literally 100 times on your way home, you really don't ever get out of third. It's really annoying. I've had an E46 3 Series that I loved that was a manual, but one of the reasons I got rid of it was because I was constantly slowing down, speeding up, slowing down, speeding up. And so the automatic transmission for me is what I needed in this BMW, not a manual. Don't kill me, sorry. Okay, number 2 is that this is one of the last driver's cars. I think there's some out there. I'd love it if you mentioned some in the comments that, you know, are under 15,000 that are a driver's car that you can buy. But I think the E90 series is one of the last affordable driver's cars. I think that the way things are going, we're gonna end up with, you know, cars that drive themselves. And so there's less and less guys and gals out there who really enjoy the driving experience. BMW marketed themselves as the ultimate driving machine. I think they've gotten away from that. I haven't driven the newest Beamer, the 2019 or 2023 series, so I can't say about that. But the F30 compared to this is just not as driver focused, especially not at the lower, you know, kind of the lower base levels. It's just more about kind of a consumer product, and that's okay. BMW's got to do what they got to do to stay in business. But this is one of the last driver's cars that you can get for under 15. At least that's my take. What do you think? So the number 1 reason I bought this vehicle is the silky smooth 6-cylinder engine. I just love the way it sounds and feels. It isn't a fast car, and I'm not here to tell you that, you know, this is a supercar, but I love the engine. It's just smooth and buttery. It's like, it just goes. And I really like that about this car. I feel like it's a unusual engine in that there really aren't any small displacement straight 6s out there anymore. And so that's my list. I'd like to know why you bought your E90. Okay, before I go, I wanted to ask some questions of you. So, do you have an E90? If you do, leave a comment. Let me know, you know, maybe the specs on yours. But I was looking for, you know, some common maintenance issues, things I might need to watch out for. Again, this is a 2011 with 120,000 miles on it. So what are some maintenance issues that are known? I've read about the door actuators and the electronic water pump. So those are some things that I'm already kind of concerned about. But what else should I be thinking about? Let me know in the comments, especially if you've had an experience with an E90. Second question, what upgrades do you think I should consider doing for this? You know, there's a bunch of videos on it out there and a bunch of, you know, blog posts. Beamers obviously have a lot of following out there on the internet. So obviously I'm reading things myself, but what do you think? What upgrades should I consider for my E92? For more car, truck, SUV opinions, reviews, and discussion, check out my other videos. Again, my channel is Car Mike. Consider subscribing. Give me a like for this video if you liked it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about your BMW E90 or why you would or wouldn't buy one. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Engine. It is so buttery. It's like the amount of power that it gives you is not, I'm not really describing that very well.